Here are the top 5 strong decks without EX cards, and without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Number 5. Jolteon and Heliolisk deck. This deck can beat Mewtwo or Pikachu EX in a single turn thanks to Jolteon. With just 2 energy, Jolteon deals 40 damage for each heads and you get 4 coin flips. As such, Jolteon could potentially do a maximum of 160 damage if you land all heads. It's like a baby version of Zapdos EX. Heliolisk works the same way. It always does 40 damage, but if you land a head on the coin flip, it does an extra 40 damage, which is pretty sweet. Overall, this deck heavily relies on coin flips, especially with Jolteon. Heliolisk can take out the smaller threats, but against an EX, you'll need Jolteon. If you miss all your coin flips with Jolteon, you're pretty much done for. If you want to gamble, this is the deck for you. Number 4. Tentacruel and Greninja deck. This deck focuses on poisoning and doing cheap damage to your opponent. With just 2 energy, Tentacruel can deal 50 damage and also poison your opponent's Pokémon, making this attack very lethal. Your opponent may try to retreat their poison Pokémon, but you'll have Greninja, who can finish them off despite the poison Pokémon being on the bench. With its ability, Greninja can deal 20 damage to any of your opponent's Pokémon, including those on the bench. It may not seem like much, but it's crucial when you just need one more point to end the game and you can easily whittle down their HP. Greninja can still deal 80 damage if you use its ability and attack, so it's still a great attacker. Energy isn't an issue since this is a water-type deck, and you have access to Misty, which makes it easier to get energy quickly. I'd say this deck needs both Tentacruel and Greninja to work together, along with a little bit of luck with Misty. Number 3. Ninetails and Rapidash deck. This deck is extremely easy and fast to use because the game plan is to quickly set up your Ninetails. With just 2 energy, Ninetails can dish out 90 damage in a single turn, but at the cost of losing 1 energy. However, this isn't an issue since you can always add another energy next turn. Even Rapidash's attack only requires 1 energy and deals 40 damage. Ninetails and Rapidash also have a 1 energy retreat cost, making X speed worth it, so you won't lose any energy. What makes them great is Blaine, which adds an extra 30 damage to the attacks of both Ninetails and Rapidash. This makes Rapidash deal 70 damage and Ninetails deal 120 damage. Overall, if you don't get Ninetails set up early, you're pretty much screwed, as Rapidash can't save this deck. Number 2. Arbok and Weezing deck. This is one of the biggest nightmares for Mewtwo decks. The game plan of this deck is to get Weezing out quickly and use its ability to poison your opponent's Pokémon. Then, you pump energy into Arbok. Once Arbok has 2 energy and your opponent's Pokémon is poisoned, it's time to use Koga to put Weezing back in your hand, allowing you to send out Arbok and use Corner, which does 60 damage and prevents that Pokémon from retreating. It basically dooms that Pokémon over time. You can rinse and repeat the process since Weezing is a good tank with 110 HP and just 1 energy to deal 30 damage, which is decent, and don't forget about the poison. Overall, this deck takes time to set up, so if you're late, you're done for. Number 1. Primeape and Sandshrew deck. This is a certified Pikachu killing deck, thanks to Primeape. In this deck, you really need the promo Mankey, which you can obtain in the Lapras event. If you don't have it, there's no point in building this deck, because the promo Mankey helps set up Primeape faster with its attack. With just 2 energy, Primeape usually does 40 damage, but if it has damage on it, it does an extra 60 damage, meaning Primeape can deal 100 damage in 1 turn. With that attack, you'll send Pikachu EX to the underworld. This is why you need the promo Mankey. It helps a lot. I added Sandslash because it's best to have someone who can finish the job if Primeape can't. Sandslash does 70 damage for 2 energy, which is pretty decent. Anyway, those are the 5 strong decks without EX cards. Of course, there are still more decks, but these are the ones I'm currently using. Like and subscribe if you want more TCG content, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.